All right, we're live. Is this going to be episode 4?
It is.
All right,
Yeah,
episode 4
officially.
of the Liberty Risk show activities. So I don't know. We don't still know what we're going to call it. Liberty Risk something. We haven't figured it out.
Well, I mean, he just said activities, and the whole special activities division kind of like
That would be
sounds
good.
fun because this really is. I mean, it lives up to the acronym.
Yeah. Got to be a silent assassin.
With our very special extracurricular activities.
Yeah, be silent got to be silent until your statute of limitations is up, and then you can go on a podcast and talk about it.
Well, for the safety of those that haven't been alleviated of the time frame, we have to definitely blur out the names.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys are just now tuning in, thank you guys for checking us out. We're here just to tell you stories. We have all these conversations internally. We chat amongst ourselves. We tell these stories around fire pits, and they're so epic and they're so like becoming iconic within our communities that we want to put this together and share it with you guys and kind of just open up this conversation of what we feel it means to be like part of the spec ops community. You know, like what it means to be a man in like the tip of quote unquote manliness in like the military at this time frame. So a lot of stories you're going to hear are older, but that's because honestly the military was probably a lot more fun back in the day.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
Well, we're all pretty old too.
Yeah, and we're all old now, and the statute of limitations is up on all this stuff. And also, we want to frame these stories with kind of the context of who we are now. Is like here in 50s,
51.
51. Yeah, I'm 47 now. How old are you, Nick?
37.
37. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So normally I'm not the youngest guy in the room, but in this case I am.
I'm usually just the most immature. But thank you guys for following on. So you guys know Nick and I from previous episodes. I would like to introduce you to my buddy Sean, who is also known as the Ernest Hemingway of the teams. Which if you're an audience and you can't see his vest, this is what you would expect like Ernest Hemingway to show to a podcast.
Well, I mean, I was paying homage to what you were saying last week when we were partying, but yeah.
Didn't some chick actually call you Ernest Hemingway?
Yeah, this last weekend I was like, I guess I gotta have to go with it now.
There you go. It's a sign from the universe, man. You just gotta roll with it.
Just moved down to Key West and.
Well, I was born in Key West.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, yeah. That's what I want to get into. You've lived such an amazing life, dude. Like, tell us, like, from the beginning, like, where do you start? And then, like, just let's flow from there.
Sean, where to start? Well, my dad was in the Navy. He stationed out in Key West. He was a sonar technician. I spent, I think I was there until I was about 5. I was always kind of a little bit of a wild child. Had impulse control even as a child. So he took me next to the pier, and there's a couple of dudes drinking in an inner tube, and they're like, "Come on in." I was like,
Started early.
Yeah. My dad was so fucking pissed at those guys because I jumped right in the water, and he had to go in his clothes to get me. So, and then, anyways, we moved from there to Connecticut, which that sucked. So, my dad was a submariner, so we spent a lot of time around that kind of that area. I ended up, when I joined the Navy, I wanted to go to Buds, but I ended up going to Submarines first because they told me submarine sonar technician was the source rating, but it's not.
Oh, thanks, recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's surface sonar tech is the source rating. So, anyways, I spent 6 years on a submarine before I could even screen to go to Buds. Luckily, one of my friends was at SDV Team 1, and he gave me the screening test because, in all honesty, there's no way I would have passed it after, basically 9 months at sea on a submarine.
Yeah, and it can, yeah.
It was
not a lot
awful.
of cardio down there.
Actually, I met I ended up in Virginia first on a submarine, and I met this dude from Dev Group, which I didn't know what that was at the time. And he said, "Well, let me give you a screening test." And I failed literally everything except for the swim. And the only reason why I didn't fail the swim is because when we got to the pool, it was empty. It was
Just like run back and forth on the bottom. Some team guy was probably in charge of filling the pool.
But he was cool about it, man. Hey, man, you got a few things to work on. Yeah, a few. So anyway, my friend gave me the screening test, and then I check into first phase or PTR, and I fill out this sheet. It's like, how much running have you been doing in the months leading up to Buds? And it was like from 9 months all the way down to about 2 weeks was all 0.
Wow.
And I'm in my dress whites mind you. And somebody from the first phase staff comes out, "Where the fuck is Stokes?" And I was like, "God damn, this is starting early." And so he's like, "What the fuck? You've only been running like 2 miles a day for like 2 weeks. What the fuck?" I was like, I was, this guy dropped me down, started hammering the shit out of me, and he asked me what happened. Finally, I was like, "Well, I was on a deployed submarine." He was like, "Oh, really? Hey, get up, man. Good luck, brother. Good luck."
That's typical team guy. I'm gonna get super mad about this. I'm gonna punish you for it, and then I might ask you a question as to what happened.
Yeah. So that made buds pretty fun. I failed I failed the run on the screening test in PTRR, and I was like, "Dude, you're not even gonna get a chance to class up." So I took the next one. When I say I passed it by 3 seconds, dude, it was no
Wow,
shit, 3
yeah.
seconds. So
Well, but like Vin Diesel said, winning's winning by an inch or a
Yeah.
mile.
Yep.
Yeah.
so that was my transition into buds, which that was a long story, but
How old were you when you got to Buds?
the first time was 23, I think.
Okay.
23.
Yeah. And how old were you when you joined the Navy?
18.
18.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, then well, I think I'll try to skip over some of the buds and team stuff and then get into like college and that transition.
Yeah. Be cool.
Yeah, because after I got out of the Navy from breaking my leg skydiving, I became a skydiving instructor. Decided, well, I'm not going to be able to sustain this career forever, so I think I'll go to school. I applied to Columbia, and I got in, but it's funny, the admissions department, they called me up, I think a week later, and asked for official transcripts from high school. And I said, "Who fakes a 1.9 GPA to get into Columbia?"
Yeah.
So she started laughing. She goes, "All right, you're good." And so
Yeah.
I started actually about 3 months later.
So is this after like being in the SEAL teams?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just graduated, I think it was 2019.
Okay.
That place was fucking way more brutal than Bud's, man.
Oh, Columbia?
I hated
Yeah.
it, dude. It was brutal.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it seems like that'd be such a big shift going from the military and especially like a spec ops command like that, and then into like basically what is the opposite of that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of,
It's like culture shock or like
oh,
how'd it go?
man. Yeah. Yeah, some of the shit that I say around you guys didn't really
Get you
go
lynched,
over very well.
get you
Yeah, I
lynched by
bet.
the blue hairs, dude.
But I would say most of them are pretty cool, but you knew who you could talk to and who you couldn't.
Yeah.
How many times did you get like, "Hey, mister," to like buy him beer and shit?
Surprisingly, none.
I just kind of figured that's exactly who I would be. Was like the "Hey, mister" guy, and it's like, "Hey, you can come over to the sorority party tonight," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, no, I can't." Let me see all your IDs.
Well, I'll gauge this out, and I might have some other stories later on, but right now, I'll see where this goes.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. I remember being like, we used to go shoulder tapping as a kid in like high school. I remember even like when people would say no, I'd be like, "Oh, you fucking dork," you know. But now as an older person, I'm like, man, you got a lot to lose. You don't realize as a kid, like, what's the worst that happens to you? Like, you get arrested and then go home that night. Like,
If
good deal.
that, or you just get your money taken.
Yeah, like worst thing that happens. But as an adult, you got responsibilities and like real world shit, or like real world problems if that happens. Like
Yeah.
supplying booze to minors. I'm like, man, it's not gonna look good.
Yeah, and then I mean, because of these stories, we now have the foresight to think like, what if these dipshits like get ripped off this bottle of Mad Dog 2020, and then they end up getting in a car crash, and all 4 students die because of the bottle of booze that I bought them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the
Or worse yet, they live and point the finger at you.
true. Which is why whatever I was
former's way
doing, I
better.
just talked to the bum outside. I mean, especially in Tucson, I'm just like, find the homeless dude. He ain't got shit to lose.
That's a really good
You know, they're
point.
not going to arrest him. And also, I'm like, hey, I'll give you a couple beers out of here, and here's like an extra $5.
That's smart. I feel like there's a lot less bums in the 90s, though. It was harder to find a bum.
That's
Easier
kinda
to find a
true.
job.
Yeah, true.
No shit.
True. Uh,
So go on further into
sorry, didn't mean to sidetrack there.
Columbia. What was your how do I say this? Your degree. What was your major?
Well, I started out with math stats.
No wonder you fucking hated it.
Well, I mean, it was 2 years into it before I realized that this is not for me. It's like I couldn't do. I mean, I understood everything, but I just couldn't make it work. Like I couldn't get it out of my head.
Yeah.
So I went over to political science, and it's funny because I couldn't write for shit in high school. In fact, I didn't think they gave me D's in every writing class or like my English classes just so I could get out of high school and join the Navy.
Hmm.
So I wasn't like a good writer. But I ended up switching over to political science, which that's all you do is write. And I mean, everything, it's all writing. And I ended up getting pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a weird switch because I was always good at the math and science. And now I'm good at writing and not good at math and science.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know when that switch took place.
Yeah, it's weird how you can turn your weaknesses into strengths if you choose to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a friend of mine like that he had a job opportunity come up, but it was very like study intensive, and he's got ADHD, like severe ADHD, and just cannot like study. But he had this opportunity, he had a wife and a new kid. He just like forced himself to do it. And now now it's a strength of his. Now he's really good at it. So now he's in a position where he's making great money, supporting his wife, another kid, and everything, because he was able to make turn that weakness into a strength just by sheer force of will.
Yeah.
You know?
I had to do it with Adderall.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Sometimes drugs help.
I mean, I never slept in college. It was like I slept way more in the teams. Believe it or not.
Yeah, Adderall's a saving grace. I'll tell you that much.
It totally is.
When there's a day on my end that's probably going to be about 14, 15 hours of editing, I'm like, wake up in the morning, get a good solid base layer of food, and then huck 30 milligrams, and I'll see you at
Jesus,
I'll see you at 2 a.m.
I get a lot done during that time.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I'm just like punching holes through the ground with my knees, but just cranking out some magic.
Well, I think
So
the first time someone gave me an Adderall, I was like, I ended up just leaving class and going to a strip club and started drinking.
Yeah.
I gotta curb these jitters.
I'm not even kidding.
Revert to old habits, dude. Old habits die hard.
Yeah, I think it was probably except for recently, it was like the last time that's like been 15 years.
Since you're in a strip club?
Well, I mean, a couple weeks ago, but before that, 15 years.
Wow.
I tried to avoid it. One of my friends was like really adamant about going. So we went.
Well,
The only one worth going to is Hong Kong and Tijuana.
Oh, I know.
Oh no,
Oh
it's
my
the
God.
best.
I've heard.
They leave you alone. It's cheap. They got 3 floors, about 300 girls.
Oh, man.
You just don't
I
keep your hands and arms inside at all times.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I like Pacers. Pacers have been good to me.
Well, we tried to get in there at first, but like one of the guys I was with had a military ID, and the guy wouldn't let us in with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to be shitting me.
Surprising. Military used to pay like 80% of their bills.
Well, I guess that guy had a hard on for military guys.
I'm sure there's a reason. I'd like to hear what that reason was, though.
Well, that'd be a whole fucking podcast right there.
Yeah. No shit. Well, you and I have a lot of experience with strippers.
Oh,
my God.
Yeah.
Well,
About 7 years straight. That's pretty much all I dated.
Oh,
I don't know
God,
if you
dude.
call it dating, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, trust me, I have a kid with one, and I married another one. So, not Disney for those of you guys listening. That was my first.
My
marriage.
wife's friends with one that's married to an active duty guy. It's in the teens, and I'm like, this
well,
seems
that's odd. A teen guy married to a stripper.
Yeah, this seems very common.
Well, she's got daddy issues. He's probably got mommy issues.
Well, she used to be a stripper, so she's since retired.
Oh yeah,
But-
that all goes away. Once
So
they
she's a
quit.
real estate agent now.
No shit, right? If she stayed in San Diego, she would be.
Dude, it's funny. People think strippers are like these like bad girls, and they are. There are some that are just like bad fucking news. But like, if you really want, they're not like that skanky or hoary. Like the worst are school teachers and nurses.
Nurses.
Those,
Nurses.
bro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they do some shit. They're like, where did you learn this? Like, I'm impressed. And strippers are just like, they're so used to it.
But
they're
like
just not
something
really-
happened between our age generation. There's a decade kind of going down the line between the three of us. But like, I didn't have any hot teachers in school, and none of my boys were fucking them because I would have known.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did this come about? Where it's like,
Well, that
Come here.
actually happened at my school. We had
Really?
the cheerleader coach ended up banging one of the students, and I was like,
Wait,
Can
is
you
this
blame
a
him?
guy
He's a
cheerleader
cheerleader
coach or a
coach.
girl cheerleader coach?
it was a chick. She was hot.
Yeah, but the thing that people are like, it's the same thing. Like, bro, it is not the fucking same
No.
thing, dude. Like, if you're a 16-year-old dude and you got this hot French teacher, so I had a hot French teacher, I would have for sure banged
Yeah,
her. For
hands
sure.
down.
I would have been like, hell yeah. And I wouldn't have been a bitch and be like, because she molested me. Like, no, I had an awesome
no,
time.
I'm gonna own that.
Yeah, dude.
I'm putting that in the yearbook.
Yeah, she's like 23. And I'm like, dude, this is, I don't understand. She's like, it's different. It's the same thing. Like, no, it's not. But 23-year-old male dude is banging a 16-year-old, like, school child, like, a girl. That's not cool. That's
yeah,
not cool.
no, not at all. And I was just gonna say, like, there are different.
It's different, dude.
Yeah, like equal
Your son
rights.
gets a high five.
Yeah.
That dude gets clanked, man.
Yeah, there's just a difference, man. To imply there's like, it's the same thing.
Just
You
like
can't do
dudes
one
aren't
without the
making
other.
hundreds of millions of dollars off of OnlyFans, and female teachers get the fuck, underage students. It's like,
Yeah,
we fully accept
There's
that.
your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You got your pros and cons of all this shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with this. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So, speaking of Columbia, I hope none of my female friends that I went to school with watch this. I'm going to come off pretty misogynistic right now.
Oh, trust me, they're not watching our show.
No, I don't think they would be.
I think their ears would burst into flames.
And if it's any consolation, I was listening to our third episode last time we were recording, and I think I had too many beverages, dude, because I was just cringing at some of the shit I was saying.
That's how you know it's a good one.
I'm like, dude,
It's
I just
going
come off
deep,
like such
bro.
a fucking douche right
No,
now.
it was good, dude.
Oh, it was
good.
brutal.
Well, that's how we get to the, the core of it. We get to the honesty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was
I
no
find-
filter, that's for sure.
I honestly, like, a lot of people have problems with drinking, and I think it's great if you recognize you have a problem with drinking and, like, either quit drinking or cut it out of your life or whatever. But I know for me, man, honestly, like, I'm a pretty good drinker, and it's been a net positive to my life. Like, I'm funnier when I'm drinking. The more people other drink, the better I look. Like, it's generally, like, pretty good. It's been
Aside from
pretty
my
good in life.
DUI, it just rarely got
Yeah,
me
well,
into trouble.
yeah, that's not good.
Other than that, it's been fine. Like,
Well, also, I'm pretty boring when I'm, like, sober. I'm pretty boring. Like, I did, Disney talked me into dry January, because we woke up hungover January 1st, and she's like, I'm never drinking. Well, I'm not drinking this month. I'm going to do dry January. So I'm like, okay, babe, I'll do this with you. I'll support you. And then she lasted like 3 days. And I'm like, fuck, what are you're falling off the wagon already, And she's like, yeah, well, let's have a drink. I'm like, no, I told you I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to do this. And she's like, I'm the only person that you told you're doing this. I'm like, I don't care. I told myself I'm doing this.
Good for you.
fucking doing it. So I did it. And dude, what a waste. Like, I had such a, like, it really was, bro. I didn't learn anything. I didn't get any better shape. I wasn't like, maybe felt a little bit better in the mornings, but nothing like another cup and a half of coffee can't cure. But I'm like, dude, I felt like I had some opportunity to do some cool events and some cool parties and stuff. And I just really did not enjoy them as much as I normally do
no.
without a drink. I think for me, like, alcohol really does help in my life. Speaking of, can I get you another drink?
Please.
Yeah, and not to mention, we live in the most conducive city ever for beverages.
Yeah.
I mean, the city's ran by bars. It's always nice outside, and there's always something to do. Like,
Yeah.
perpetually something to do. Like, Nikki was like, why the fuck? We're always going out. We're always doing this. Like, we're always drinking. I'm like, okay. And then we sit in the house for 2 or 3 days, like, just chilling, watching TV, going to the gym. And she's like, all right, you want to go out for happy hour? I'm like, yeah.
It's fun, man.
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, it's fun. And but it changes too. Like, when Mikey Sowers and I used to go out, we're like, it was basically a competition. Like, how many Red Bull vodkas can we slam and still be functional and get laid? That was the only mission, And I used to hate these speakeasies, because I'm like, dude, you take way too long to drink to make this thing, and then I gotta drink it, and it doesn't taste. I gotta slam this thing. Man, it's just like, things look so different when you're an older man, and like, you're a different perspective on life. And now I'm like, dude, I have like maybe one Red Bull vodka a year,
Yeah, that's
Just
if I'm
totally-
dragging ass on the
Yeah.
tail end of a night.
And I love speakeasies where you just get into it and it's cool, and it's like, it's just a different point in life, man. I think you'd appreciate different things at different times, and neither is better or worse. It's just like, the goals are different at different times, and then they should be. It would be weird if I wanted the same things now as I did when I was like 25,
Yeah, it would be terrible.
Yeah. I'd be like,
I'm still trying to figure out the last time I had a vodka Red Bull.
Especially all that caffeine and the sugar, too. It's like,
oh my God, dude. Yeah. Well, now it's we used to get fucked up on, we used to go to Broken Yoke and get just these cartons full of, what's it called? The Brute champagne, like
Oh,
endless
yeah.
mimosas, and just get jacked on mimosas. Now I have like a half a glass of champagne. I'm like, oh,
I know.
And the hangover
Dude,
from
and
the
champagne
sugar.
drunk is the worst too.
Oh, and the hangovers are the
Well,
worst,
like
bro.
it all makes sense why Gaslamp gets so fucking sloppy because it's bottomless mimosas, and I've almost been there too. I've almost fucking been heels up after trying to hang with the girls doing bottomless mimosas, and I was like, no, I'll do a Bloody Mary to start, and then I'm going to beers, and then when I'm gassed out on IPAs, and I go to like a hard kombucha, which speaks on. I'm
That was
straight,
a-
I promise.
I think that was the first drink he had after January.
That's right.
'Cause
Yeah.
we had lunch and he was like,
Yeah.
"We're
That's
drinking
second
hard
nature.
kombucha."
That's right,
Yep.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them, man. I love them.
They're
You
good.
can't find them anywhere outside of San Diego, though. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I was just thinking, instead of vodka Red Bull, you could just take an Addy with you.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Takes up less room. Yeah.
It's true. And until it makes your dick shrink.
Well, that's what
Well, I
Cialis
mean,
is
it's
for.
a trade-off. You know,
That's true. They just double down. Oh, here's my vitamins for Sunday. Look out, Short Club.
Dude, I was gonna say I was such a piece of shit, but I was not a piece of shit. I was just a performance enthusiast, I would say. Because I got a prescription for, I think it was Cialis or Viagra, one of those at the time. And for guys thinking like, because people would try to buy the Cialis or the Viagra off me. I'm like, bro, just go get a prescription. It's not like they check. They're like, you really can't get hard. I'm not gonna use a prescription unless you get hard, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
just go tell them you got ED. They give you a prescription. It's like whatever, $5 a pill or something like that. But anyway, so I used to take, and like I said, I may or may not have been a little bit of a piece of a shit in my time. Let's just say I was focused on other things than business and life. I was focused on getting gas. That was my main mission in life. So we would go out, and I would take a little, break off a half of a Cialis and roll in tinfoil, and I put it in my pocket. Then if it looked like the night was going where I
Yeah.
wanted to go, I just like discreetly.
Yeah.
pop it. And it's like the funny thing is too, people are like, "Well, do you need it?" Like, no, but
No.
goddamn, I don't need to get drunk to tell a good story, but it goddamn helps. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like tying on that
It's
cape, dude.
so
You're like
true. It
Superman.
literally
you feel
is.
good. You're like, and then they're all, well, especially if you're a single guy in PB, we all know how this goes. Like, if you put out a good resume,
It's true.
good resume goes a long way.
You got
Sure.
a waiting list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'Cause
word of
guys-
mouth goes far.
Yeah, because when guys will talk about girls, like, we're like, oh, did you sleep with her? Yeah, cool. We don't ask like, how was her? We
No.
just don't really go into details.
No, that's all women
Chicks,
care about.
Oh my god, they're like, was it juicy? Was it thick? How long?
Yeah.
Was it? I'm like,
Oh, wow.
dang, bro.
Well, like I have ex-girlfriends that are strippers, and then we're still
No.
friends. Yeah, and so they start talking to me about some of their conquests. Like I'm like, just I'm in the fucking room. I don't want to hear this shit. I mean, you're right. They get into some
Dude.
detail.
They go way more
Yeah.
detail.
I'm like, I gotta go, dude. I don't want to hear this shit.
I know. It does like make me uncomfortable for some reason. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this?
I know. I hear some of the conversations with Disney and her girlfriends. I'm like, I'm gonna go in the other room. I don't want to hear.
I know. Thank God I can't hear him on here.
I know.
now.
I've got a perfect
Downstairs.
description of this dude's dick
I know.
that
Right?
I've never met, and I don't want to meet.
Now that I meet him, like, I'm just picturing his dick.
Well,
God damn it.
Now that I'm older too, I won't give a fuck and be like, "Hey, dude, heard good shit about your dong," and he's like, has no idea that I just had to spend 3 hours downstairs listening to the cats talk about getting fucking railed.
And then so she's asking me about like Air Force bomber pilots. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know what these guys go through? I don't know anything about
Yeah,
these
I
guys.
don't know. Probably some
She's like, well,
pilot
why isn't he calling me? I was like,
because he's a dude.
because he doesn't want to fucking talk to you.
Yeah,
It's like,
And he's a
not-
pilot.
it's not complicated.
Yeah, he's not a crew chief. Crew chief will come to service you, but pilots they're in that echelon of mild arrogance as far as
mild.
yeah. Well, I was trying to give him benefit of the doubt. I know a few. So what you got for us? I'm ready for a tall tale.
A tall tale.
Actually, first, I have always been fascinated with submarines
Oh,
and
Because they're dick shaped.
what it's like Twinkies and what it's like being underway.
submarines suck. I mean, it's a hard life. But, but most of the time, the crew is really a bunch of good dudes.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty. Like my first time at sea, we were going from Norfolk, Virginia to Port Canaveral, Cape Canaveral, and we have what they call test depth, which is as deep as you're allowed to operate, and you should be able to operate all the equipment at test depth. And the XO, for whatever reason, wanted to have the floating wire out at test depth. So we're like, the fuck is the point of that? So they had the static seal. It blew, which is like it's like a donut that fits around like this cable. So now we got flooding in the control room at test depth.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I'm guessing that's not good.
no.
Yeah.
No.
And I remember I was like, hey man, is this fucking normal? What the fuck is going on here? And like I guess the guy that was checking out, he was like, he's just blinking and freaking out. So we had to shear it off. And anyways, that's my first time at sea. Then we did one time. Like this is actually really shitty. We were going to Guam from Hawaii. I think we were over the Marianas Trench, and we were running loss propulsion drill. And normally you slow down to like a 1/3 bell so you can get a good trim on the submarine. So it's everything's safe. Well, they're just like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, just loss of propulsion, scram the reactor. So next thing you know, we're like really fucking heavy, probably about 20 or 30,000 pounds heavier than we should have been. Like I'm guessing I wasn't like a diving officer or anything, but we're doing an up angle with an EPM, which was only about, it can't do that much. It's only
What's
like
an EPM?
it's the emergency propulsion motor.
Okay.
So they're pushing that thing. It's like we're only getting like 25 turns. And so next thing you know, they get an up angle and we start going down backwards. I was like, God damn, dude. And I was in sonar and I could hear the hull going. I could hear it creaking and creaking and creaking.
no.
And it's like, what the fuck? And I could just see the depth gauge just spinning backwards. And then the captain's, he's like, what the fuck? It's like, hey, chief of the watch, 6-second emergency blow. They're trying to slow our descent. That doesn't do shit. The captain gets on the 1MC. Hey, restore propulsion to maneuvering. They're like, yeah, we can't. So they they get the reactor going, and then they had to override some main steam valves. And so these fucking pipes are just going back and forth.
Wow.
And we're like, dude, I thought we were gonna have like a steam line rupture. Like, it would have killed everybody in the engine room. Like fucking killed
Dang.
everybody. So they get that pressure equalized so they could turn on the main engines. They get it going. They're like all ahead, full, and so the cap's like all ahead, full, cavitate. We start moving, coming up, and then the chief of the watch does a full blow. And mind you, we've gone below test depth. So I'm just like, dude, we're gonna fucking die, dude. They're not gonna find us in that deep of water. So we start coming up, and I was like, okay, now we might want to start pushing down a little bit because this boat's fucking rocketing up. We come out of the water, and the boat comes out sideways.
Oh,
It rips tow array fairing off. It starts fucking all kinds of shit up.
Oh my god.
And I was like, man, I really don't know if I want to keep fucking doing this
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Because I watched Greyhound when it came out, and honestly, I thought it was a phenomenal movie.
What's Greyhound?
You haven't seen it?
No.
So it's Tom Hanks. It's on Apple TV.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's about kind of that dead zone where we were crossing the Atlantic in order to kind of get to Europe,
Yes.
and planes can no longer kind of help out, look out for ships or submarines or anything like that from German U-boats.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're on your own up until
Gotcha.
you get close enough to the UK, and then they can have planes back up. And it was, trying to keep all these troop transportation ships, all of the supplies and everything like that, just kind of pushing forward. Meanwhile, the German U-boats are just like playing whack-a-mole with everybody. And, we're used to being able to bail out unless you're pinned down behind a rock in a firefight, but, you usually can get the fuck out. So, I don't know. Just putting this together in my head, you went from submarines to skydiving instructor to team guy to Berkeley mathematical fuck this political science guy. You are fucking Ernest Hemingway.
I was saying, man.
Jesus.
We were just getting started.
No shit.
Wow, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. So any level of physical fitness that you guys can do on there, I'm sure probably nowadays they have like that run in motion kind of. But I mean, I feel like the space is very limited, so you want to maximize it with the shit you need as opposed to treadmills and fucking a squat bench.
I got ready for buds on a stair stepper.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was doing dips on the rails of like ladders and whatnot, and I would hang on ladders and do pull-ups. So I mean, I was okay at PT, but when it came to running, I was like, I've never been good at running. I've always hated it. And well, no one gives a fuck about anything at buds other than running.
Yeah.
If you can run, doesn't matter about anything else.
It makes a big difference, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was running like 4 miles at a 6-minute pace. I was also like 50 pounds lighter at the time. I was like 185. It was a lot easier. But yeah, dude, I was surprised how much running, like,
Yeah.
if you're a good runner at buds, it is significantly
You can't. You could go in there and not even be able to fucking swim. Like just barely make their times. No one gives a fuck about swim.
Because you're always swimming with fins on too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize like the test for the whatever the PT test is the only time we ever swam without fins.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
learned to
pretty
swim at Bud's too.
Really?
Coming
Yeah.
from Key West?
Well, I was 5 when we left.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Fair.
I was not afraid of the water. I jumped in,
Yeah.
but I was like, I mean, I thought I could swim, but what I did was not swimming.
Just tread water.
I was like,
Tread
yeah.
water and moving forward slightly.
Dude, when I took the screening test, dude, I did the fucking breaststroke, and I mean, I wasn't like gliding or anything. I was like fucking fully vertical. It was
So everyone after a 6-month deployment on a sub comes out just looking like a bunch of fucking aliens.
well, yeah, especially that deployment I did. We were like basically at sea for like 3 months. Came in for a day to fix a part, like a water pump for the reactor. So the reactor had water. And I was like, hey, maybe we should get some food since we're like almost out. They're like, no, we need to get you guys over here. So we ended up going back on station for another month. So we're like 4 months at sea. And then we pull into Guam, and dude, everyone was like fucking yellow. We all looked like we had jaundice.
I bet.
And then we come outside, and you're in that equatorial Guamanian sun. And they're like, well, you guys can't wear sunglasses because it's the uniform code of. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me, dude. I
Fuck
got a
no.
sunburn on my fucking eye.
Yeah, I bet.
There was dudes. Dude, we were getting roasted.
that sounds like a Navy regulation. Yeah, we know you kept you underground basically for 4 months.
Yeah.
And you've not seen the sun, but you can't wear sunglasses because it's against regs.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
better be shaved and you better
Yeah.
be this. Like, why do I need to fucking be shaved?
Yeah.
Because the old excuse used to be gas mask. But like last
That's
time
the only time I can grow a beard on a submarine is when you're at sea. I was like, this doesn't check out.
Yeah, was the captain fine with all that?
No, he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He did not give a shit.
How was it pulling into port with like doing a Liberty call with like the sub crew versus like the team crew?
Well, you know what? I tell you what, dude. You got your Liberty risks on submarines too.
I bet, man.
I got this friend Tim. I won't mention his last name 'cause I think he's married and has a kid now. But this motherfucker, I've never seen anyone piss in the most odd places. Like I think we met him Waikiki. I look over, I'm waving at him. And I look over and like everyone's running off the dance floor, and he's waving at me. I look over and he's pissing all over the dance floor. That was the first night I met him. That's like the first time we hung out, right?
Hey, buddy.
Like I mean, like we're at a house party. Next thing you know, you see Tim's passed out on a couch in a weird contorted position, and all of a sudden you hear like running water. Like, oh shit, did a pipe break? And you look at and it's piss coming out from underneath the bottom of the couch.
Oh,
And it's,
God.
no, this is the best, right? Like we submarines every once in a while you pump the sonar dome down, the boat floats up a little bit, and you have to go clean transducers in the sonar inside the sonar dome. Well, we had this kid Sejin. He was down there, and I look over, and it's like I see water splashing on his head. I look up, Tim's pissing on his head. I was like, oh, you fucking asshole.
Dude, something's got to be wrong with this guy. Like he's
Oh, yeah,
probably
you-
raised
you-
by dogs.
Yeah, you think? Yeah,
And
this-
it probably hasn't subsided. You know, his wife is like, why
well,
are you
that's
pissing on
what
her
we
child?
thought. It's like I can't wait till he pisses on his wife. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Right?
Yeah.
I've only
Dude.
done that once, but
So-
it was in the
some
shower.
people have that. Like I was telling you about my old roommate Miles, another team guy. Dude,
Yeah.
this motherfucker, love him, great dude. I think we're in the same Buzz class, but anyway, we're roommates for years together. But this dude would pee on everything, not on purpose. He would get drunk and have this look on his face because we would get drunk a lot. And I remember one time I was married. I was going down on my wife in the bedroom, and I didn't lock the door because I'm like, well, who's gonna fucking come kick my door down? And I'm going down on my wife, and the fucking door busts open, and it's Miles, and I'm like, we're in the bed, and he comes over and starts pissing on my lamp. And I'm like, hey, bro, what the fuck? He just looks over at me, and he goes like, ugh.
And 5
Keeps
minutes pissing, right?
I'm like, I had to like go over and like shuffle him over to the patio and like, keep being on the patio. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Well-
And the same guy. This is a continuing issue with the guy. Great dude, just everybody's got their quirks. So
Never borrowed his wetsuit.
yeah, dude. So he had this girlfriend who was like a saint, like super nice girl. They knew each other from like back home in I think Ohio or something like that. super like sweet Midwest girl, not used to like team guy shenanigans or anything like that. And so she would come to visit, and this one time, I heard this ruckus. She's screaming. She's like, "What the fuck, Miles?" And we go like, "What the hell happened, dude?" So basically, he was so drunk. He went in and he opened her suitcase on the floor. He opened the lid of her suitcase
And
like a
pissed in it.
like a toilet bowl lid and pissed all over her shit in the suitcase, man. I was like, oh my god, dude. Another time he peed off. You know, how some they have like there's a
balcony?
living room. Well, there's a living room, and then there's a bedroom upstairs and like a little balcony.
Oh,
So
Jesus,
he
dude.
peed off the balcony
Oh, yeah.
onto another team guy that was sleeping on the couch on the floor. Like, dude, there's a ton of stuff like that. It's like
Did he ever get his ass kicked for this?
he's just such a like gregarious guy, and
I
I'm sure his chick beat his ass, but no, because he's not like I don't know.
I feel like brand new in the teams, if you get caught fucking peeing on someone, like there's hell to pay.
Well, we were all new guys at the same time, so it's kind of like it's equal hierarchy.
Well, but there is another funny part. So we with Tim, we were doing a Halloween party, costume party, base housing. So everyone gets fucking shit housed. I don't know. We got 2 trampolines. I don't know how anyone didn't get hurt jumping back and forth. But we're like, we wake up in the morning and we're like, "Where's Tim?" Because like he wore a Superman costume and it was on the floor, and he didn't bring shit else. It's like,
So we got a naked Tim alert.
well, so the best part was Sejin. It's like, all right, motherfucker. He grabs a bucket in that Superman
The guy
contest,
that got pissed on
and he
me
just
for it.
pissed in that fucking. He probably pissed 8 times all over that suit. Sucked it up. And so like we went and found like we see like I think we're like 3 blocks away, and I see like some fucking legs hanging out of a doghouse in some neighbor's yard.
Oh god.
And well, that was Tim.
That looks like our guy.
But he's wearing tidy whities, but the ass is ripped out, dude.
I want to hear the story.
That
on
was a dog.
I don't know how that fucking happened, dude, but it was just like a loincloth.
Rottweiler just handing him. Oh yeah, you want to piss in my doghouse?
He slept there all night, dude.
Did he?
man.
Oh, he had to have, because it was like I think everyone else kind of shut down around 2.
Yeah.
This is probably like I don't know 10 or 11 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
He was there for a while.
Changed to Clark Kent. Huh?
So the funny part was Tim comes back, Sejin put the suit back on the floor where it was at, and he goes, this thing's all wet. I must have been sweating. I was like, I'm sure that.
You just peed on it, bro. You don't
Yeah,
remember.
well, Captain Pee Pants ain't gonna know what urine
Yeah.
fucking clothing smells like, anyways,
Yeah,
because he's just so fucking.
he was
used to
just-
Probably happy about it.
Whew.
it. Aren't sub guys supposed to have like the highest like GT standard and like ASVAB score in the
Yeah.
military?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, there's some smart dudes, but I mean, these are still like, I mean, you got to think, man, you
Still
got like
kids.
18 and 19-year-old
Yeah.
dudes, and you get some dudes that are like really weird. Like we had this guy, I mean, even by submarine standards, weird. We had this guy, Dan, like you could tell that guy there's something wrong with this guy. Man. And like, we're in sonar, and we're doing like 30 knots, so you can't hear shit. None of the arrays are working. And he's just sitting there squirming. I was like, what's wrong? He goes, I got to shit. I was like, well, go shit. And he comes back like 10 seconds later. I was like, you good? He goes, oh, yeah, I'm good. Well, it turns out he shit his pants. He goes, well, I didn't make it, so I'm just going to come back. I was like, what? Dude.
The problem resolved itself.
I was like, maybe go change your drawers,
Yeah.
take a shower.
I
Now
can
it
think of
smells
nothing
like
worse.
shit. Now it smells like shit in the control room.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
smells bad.
God.
It's like, you got to go.
Oh, dude.
Now imagine taking. So how many people are on like your class of sub?
The crew is usually around 110 to 120.
Wow, that's like a full like army company.
It's pretty good size.
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of
good
dudes.
size.
And you know, but you know everybody.
Do you like
Yeah.
everybody? I mean, you
Oh.
have to at that point. I
You
just
know how
don't
it
know.
is, dude.
Like
you know
put
everybody at the team.
the engine room guys over here, and
Yeah.
then like sonar nerds like over on
Right.
this side or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know everybody.
Yeah.
Do they even have enough racks for everybody?
No.
Or you always have to hot
It's all
rack
hot
them?
rack.
It not all, but mostly.
So I think also we might have to explain a hot rack because I had to before.
You got
I've-
3 dudes, 2 bunks. So then you got 3 watch sections. So basically, you just kind of switch out. So you're in a different rack
Hmm.
every other time. But when you're senior enough, you just tell the new guy, you're like, hey, get the fuck out of my bed.
Perks. And then you pee on them.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, cool, man. What's so time in there, and you did some. How long are you active as a team guy?
I think it was right around 6 years.
Okay. Yeah, and then you got out in 16.
No. I got out in 2007.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got out after active duty in '08 too. Yeah. And
That
what'd you
was-
do? What'd you do after that?
Well, since I broke my leg skydiving, got medically retired from it, I thought, well, might want to conquer this demon. So I became a skydiving instructor.
Another made a weakness a strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I've done at least 8 or 9,000 tandems,
Just tandems.
just tandems, and
Wow.
I AFF jumps, fun jumps. I've got like 13 or 14,000 skydiving,
Dang.
and I haven't jumped in like, I think I've jumped like maybe 5 times in the last 5 years.
Wow. I think I've got like 13 static line and I hated them all. I hated jumping, dude.
Unless it's the water.
Mm.
I love water jumps.
Yeah, so a lot of people probably don't understand why, because it's like, for those of you guys who are listening, like the water jumps they're more dangerous because you can get tangled up in the lines pretty easily, and then you can drown. Obviously, it's more dangerous, but at the same time, if you're a big dude, the thing with static lines is like you get the same shoot if you're 150 pounds or 250 pounds. So if you're 250 pounds, you're like blowing by the 150-pound guy on the way down. So you hit a lot harder. And yeah, I hated that, dude. I remember there was 2 distinct moments of joy in jumping for me. There was when my chute opened and I'm like, okay, it actually opened. And then 2, after I hit the ground and I'm like, okay, nothing's broken. Other than that, dude, I fucking hate
It hurts.
I hate
every
jumping,
time.
dude. Yeah, that was one of those things where it's like that and diving. I remember diving and like, I can't wait to never do this again. Like ever. I fucking hate diving. I hate jumping.
Well, I'm one of the few. I can't piss in my wetsuit because
Wait, really?
I get diaper rash,
Oh,
dude.
yeah. Oh. That's why you gotta let the cool air circulate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, yeah, next time.
So
Uh,
isn't Halo mandated now for NSW?
It is now. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
It's
it
a
wasn't
pipeline
back
now.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, before then, because I got out in '08, and I left the active duty team in 2004 to go instruct. But most guys weren't pre-fall qual that time. It was actually pretty rare.
Yeah.
You had to be like a good dude and get like
Just kind of like a
get the
preference school.
yeah. It was pretty tough to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do it. So I didn't put it away.
Like,
When
no,
I was a
good.
new guy, I did. I'm like, yeah, I want to get all the quals. I want to be like the best team guy ever. And as I realized I was gonna get out, I'm like, I don't really like jumping at all. I don't really want to do any of this shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, though.
That's what I hear.
It is a lot of
It
fun.
looks like fun,
It is.
but it's also the only sport or activity where like you're basically dead and then you save your own life.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of truth to that.
Actually, I think at this point I almost have a favor to ask, considering I've never been skydiving, and I was gonna do it with Trevor Thompson, also another NSW team guy that moved to Utah. He was on the Leapfrogs, and
I know that name.
yeah, he was over at SDV1, which I think that's in Hawaii, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So he was at SDV1 for a long time, and then I believe I could be quoted wrong that he was at Dam Neck for a little bit. But now he whittles his own bows and uses like tendons and sinew to like make the string, and
Wow.
and he was doing like Alaska hunting guide work and avid skier. Like, I mean, honestly, great dude.
That's
but
cool, man. That's hardcore.
he's got a shit ton of fucking
living in
jumps.
the
but-
teepee and everything, dude.
Yeah,
I was gonna say if the predator ever comes, he's gonna be fucking set.
dude. Put
Seriously.
some mud on him. He's ready, dude. Ready to
and
go.
he's kind of like a smaller, like actually kind of like built like me. A little bit shorter, but yeah, just fucking squirrely skydiver. But yeah, I've never jumped, and I was always in the Army. I was always in line like light infantry units.
Mhm.
So it was walk everywhere. So if you need 120 pounds taken from A to B, and that's 25 clicks, and like we can do that, but I much rather take the whole air assault airborne route and kind of get from A to B a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that makes
yeah, never done it. And actually, so the one shit story, and this is a shit story. Sorry, we're on the good story podcast, but there was this chick that I was banging out that was my neighbor, and this is during COVID.
Wait, did you shit yourself?
Is
Story?
it actual
No.
shit story or just like not a good story?
No, it's just
Okay.
not a good story.
Okay,
I was prepared for a
expecting
shit story.
fecal
No,
matter.
it was just kind of showing like the metric. But I was banging this chick out that was my neighbor when I was living in OB, and
love
she
those
comes
stories.
over.
Shitting in your backyard, yeah.
Well, I mean, so first, let me explain what kind of chick this is, right? It's like she was best friends with the guy's like condo that I took over in OB, and she makes great money. She's in finance and like runs the books for a bunch of companies and stuff like that. And uh, we were, it was literally like a text, like no one's allowed to sleep over. It's just come over and handle business. And
You're a
she,
human vibrator.
That sounds
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
I
And
was
so
used.
she had her washer
I
and
love that
dryer
feeling.
like right next to her bedroom, and when the driver would go off, it was one of just like the mean, obnoxious like buzzers where it just like startles you, it pisses you off. And so she texts me out of the blue. I'm just like chilling there, like watching a game or something. She's like, "If you can come over here and turn off this dryer buzzer, you can put it in my ass tonight." And I'm like,
I'll be there in 30
Yeah,
seconds.
grab the wire clippers.
dude, I went on YouTube real quick. And we had the same washer and dryer unit because we're in the same building.
You
so
can
I
fucking
looked that
unplug
up.
it, dude.
I know, right? Hey, it works now. They showed up with a flathead, and it was just super easy, and so I fixed it. So we solved that. So I'm placating to her and laying in bed for the 20 minutes that I'm allowed before I'm kicked out and like go back. And she's like, "Hey, so I got a big question for you. Tomorrow night's my like office party, and I need a date." And I was like, "Abso-fucking-lutely not." And she's like, "Nick, please." And I'm like, "Fuck no." And she's like, "I'll take you skydiving on Sunday if you come." I'm like, "All right, I'll go." So I went with her, did the whole, "Hey, how are you? You guys dating?" Nope. I just turned off the dryer and beat her brains out of the butt last night, but don't worry
Just
about that. So then we go to Skydive San Diego, and we're in there and we go through all the classes and get matched up for our tandems, and we get up in the air, plane's full, spinning up, and the marine layer is pumping in hard.
Naturally.
Yeah, and I have my Garmin on, and I look at it, and we're at elevation, and my heart rate is like 65, and the guy's like, "Let's open the doors." So we opened the doors before the climax of the story, and so I'm sitting there with this guy, and he's like, "Are you fucking ready? Are you ready?" I'm just like, "Yeah, dude, I'm ready."
I could never do that.
And I look, my heart rate's still at like 70. And then we got nixed, and so then we had to cancel. But then my instructor's like, "Actually, this is probably the sketchiest thing I've ever done on a skydive."
Oh, the landing there.
Right, because
my God,
now he's
dude.
landing with a full plane, and
Dude.
normally he's landing with an empty plane. So my
It's
instructor's
sketch,
now telling
bro.
me that this is the sketchiest part.
It
And I was
is,
like,
dude.
"If this is fucking sketchy, let's just go." Like, fuck the marine layer, dude. Like, you have an altimeter. Like, let's just go. And so either way, we had to go all the way back down to the ground. Luckily, we landed, and I get back out, or so we get out, and she's like, "Don't worry, we'll do this again." And then like 3 weeks later, I go to Vegas and I meet my current wife, and blast it on Instagram. And so I come back, and she's all like, "So you replaced me?" And I was like, "Bitch, you told me 3 days ago about how you had a threesome with two dudes in PB." I'm like, "Don't come at me because I fucking found someone that's not 37-year-old and it's skank."
Yeah, I found somebody who's actually wife
They
material.
love
Yeah.
it when you call them
Yeah.
skank, I found.
Yeah, that didn't go well. So she's like, "Fuck you, I'm taking someone else." So
I'm
that
gonna
was,
turn the dryer buzzer back on.
dude, I should have. I totally should. Could I had a key to replace
You
and
sneak
everything?
back in there.
Dude, that would have been fucking genius.
But
So, yeah.
24/7.
Dude, yeah, just the whole time.
Yeah, I have done that landing once. Like, dude, when you're coming down, I'm looking out the fucking front window, dirt. Look out the side, it's all dirt, and this
Yeah.
guy's slipping in. At the last second, you're like, you see the runway. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, I don't ever want to fucking land with that airplane again. It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, dude, it just kind of feels like a kite with a lawnmower engine on the front.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
I mean that plane's pretty badass, but dude, just the shit that they have because they're doing slips, and this guy's fucking flying
Yeah,
sideways.
coming in sideways in order to land with the wind.
And I'm just like, you've got to be shitting me,
That
dude.
sounds sketchy.
It freaks me out, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I had to land with the airplane. Well, I've only done it once, but it freaked me out. And I'm with my student. She's like, we close the door. She's like, "Oh, thank God." And then now I'm the fucking dude over here, like rubbing my
Yeah,
legs.
that's exactly what it normally was. Everyone else is panicking, but as soon as the door closed and we're descending, I looked at every instructor's face, and they're just like, take their skydiving goggles and put it up, and they're like, kind of giving each other the eyes, like,
Yeah,
"You gonna be all
let's
right?"
go to Brown. Let's please go to Brown.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty sketch, dude. Like one dude fucking wrecked an airplane right there.
How long ago? I
It's
feel like
probably
I
been
remember.
15 years.
Okay.
Well, he didn't wreck it. I mean, I don't know what the fuck. I
Just
don't know how
bounced hard.
he did, and he fucked up the airframe.
Yeah.
They destroyed a brand new Caravan.
Oh
Ooh.
no.
That's a $3 million airplane.
Is it
Dang.
really that much?
Yeah, they're expensive, dude.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, airplanes are crazy money, dude.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. So my mentor bought an old Russian like Su-71 or something that they like decommissioned, and then like it's kind of like pin and welding your muzzle brake on the end, where they just make sure that you cannot put munitions on this. Like you're not gonna like Lord of War it,
Yeah.
and take it down to Mexico and then
Yeah.
load it up.
That's just straight from run over.
Yeah, and
Tijuana.
he said he bought it for like I think it was like 700,000.
Wow.
And it was a full-on fucking fighter jet.
Like a MiG, like a
What?
jet.
Yeah, it was like a 1982 like MiG.
That's crazy.
Dude, speaking of MiGs, I decided I was going to become a commercial pilot, so I'm taking flying lessons down at Brownfield. I take off on I think 28 left. I think that was the runway, and I look over and there's like a fucking jet coming across, hauling ass, and like I could see the dirt, like all the dust coming up from the dirt. I'm like, this dude's gonna fucking hit us, dude. It was a MiG. It was like some dude had like some old MiG. I guess he forgot to close his canopy. It ripped off, and he was trying to fucking salvage the airplane. I was like, oh, my God.
Oh no.
He fucking
holy
shot.
shit.
He come up right in front of us. I was like, how the fuck does this happen?
This is
dude?
the same guy. How many MiGs are there flying around?
I know, right?
One less now.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing crashed?
No, he was able to land the airplane safely
With no canopy?
with no canopy. But I guess his
Shit,
fucking face was like
Dude,
pushed
I
back.
bet. Oh my
I
god.
was
I
like,
mean, what's the stall speed on that? Like 250?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
But they're meant to be. I think they can fly much slower. But to the point, he was still fucking hauling ass, dude.
Wow.
Like, dude, his wing. I was like, I swear to God, I was like, it's got to be touching.
Speaking of which, we just had an F-18 crash in a fucking San Diego Bay today.
Yeah. I'm
And I
curious to
saw the
hear about
videos
that.
and it had landing gear on. And honestly, if you crashed in the bay, and it was like
Oh,
right
you
by,
just barely got airborne.
right, but that's what I'm thinking. But the videos that I saw, one is from Hotel Del with a tourist, just like, oh, look at Hotel Del, and you just see this like F-18 just like come from probably 1 o'clock down to like 7 o'clock,
Oh.
and
so
just
they
hit the
were
water.
Zooming in. Not
Yeah,
even like,
dude.
wow.
Like a mean hit, but like landing gears were still up. So I don't
Huh.
know. I can't wait to hear how this whole
Yeah, I'd
thing
be
like checks
interested.
out. And I'm
Right.
going out there tomorrow to go fishing. So like right there. And I really hope that they're pulling up the aircraft when I'm able to like take some
Bring
photos.
your gear, dude. You can go out and take a
Well,
look.
I mean that's the whole reason I'm going is where it's with Blake. So he runs a spearfishing company. He's a team guy.
Okay.
But our plan was to go spearfishing and then the weather hit. So now we're just like, fuck it, let's just get drunk on a boat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Favorite
that doesn't
activity.
suck.
Yeah. But the cameras are all still coming, so it should be good. But I'm curious to find out. This is what, the third plane crash?
Well, dude,
Yeah.
I've talked to a bunch of like F-18 pilots, or like a lot of. I mean, I don't know if I don't want to start a shitstorm, but it sounds like a lot of maintenance gets gun decked for, I don't know, whatever the reasons are, but a lot of these things are running past. They're not doing the proper maintenance, from what I hear. And
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because if it was anything like my Humvees or MRAPs or anything like that downrange, like mechanics were kind of right under Cook as far as what we thought highly of. You know, like at least Cook still feeds us, but you know, we always had problems with mechanics. Now, granted, with aircraft, shouldn't be the case, but you know, considering the past 4 years of our presidency, I mean, recruitment numbers are at an all-time low, and apparently the Navy can't staff anything.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be the, you know, can't blame DEI for everything, but there's a big culture shift, or we've had this culture shift for the last, decade or so. It's towards just like the bare minimum, like you want everything for nothing, like hard work is not cool anymore, like so it wouldn't surprise me that like a lot of this shit is starting to show itself, because that's kind of how it shows itself. It's like these random things that start happening. Yeah, Disney showed me another plane crash. So Motley Crue's private plane
I
just
saw
crashed
that,
the other
right?
day.
Scottsdale
Yeah, and unfortunately,
He's
like some people
killed the
died.
pilot. His girlfriend
Yeah.
lived.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
bummer.
who lived?
His girlfriend.
It wasn't none of the band was in there. But
Oh,
it was
gotcha, gotcha.
the pilot's chick lived. He died. But yeah, I see. I don't know if it's just we're being told about it more than
Yeah,
we
it's
normally
true.
hear,
It could be a
or
thing.
if it's actually happening more.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I'm hearing about it a lot more than I remember hearing about
I
it
think it's
before.
going to rectify it. Then also, I saw another news blip the other day, like 2 days ago, that said that Army recruitment numbers are up 50%. And
Yeah, we're back,
for-
baby.
been the first time because now it's like, ooh, here we go.
Yeah, dude.
We got Hegseth running out there with 10th group.
Yeah, man.
You know, we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Daddy in office.
Instead
Like
of the Darth
this is
Vader guy with his fucking mask on.
Well,
and
they're
his-
putting urinals back in the men's room.
Yeah, taking the tampons out. I'm like, bro.
taking the litter boxes out.
Oh my god, the shenanigans has been going on. It's been absolutely insanity, like literal insanity. So, yeah, I would, if I was a military guy or thinking about joining the military, I'd be like, dude, now's the time. Get a
Yeah.
solid 4
Yeah,
years.
now
at
it's
least
gonna get
4
good.
years. Yeah, and I think if we can show like we obviously the direction we were going was going fucking nowhere, and if we can actually produce results for the next 4 years, I think a good case could be made that hey, let's get another 4 years of somebody, whoever that happens to be. But I think the pendulum has shifted. I think we're seeing all these DEI initiatives reversed, even from like private companies and the whole
Disney even.
culture. Yeah, Disney. And
If
they're like,
Disney's backing down, then
yeah,
we're on the
Disney
right.
is?
mega
Yeah,
woke, dude.
if Disney's backing down, we're on the right track.
Yeah, so it gives me
It's unreal.
hope.
I wonder if they're going to redo Acolytes.
All
Hey,
right,
can we get a
so-
redo on this?
No, but we are creeping up, FYI.
On-
On an hour.
You guys want to take a break?